Do you want more subscribers, more reach of your videos or audio? Do you want to help your clients reach larger audiences? Well, pay close attention. There's some common things you'll see on YouTube and other platforms that don't really work, but they are common use. And then there's some things that you can do that are rarely seen that are very powerful from a direct response perspective that you ought to be using. I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. So I just watched a YouTube video and they said, hey, I don't like to do the like and subscribe thing, but I'd like you to like and subscribe so that these videos can reach more audience. And many seasoned copywriters will recognize that that's a call to action. They're asking people to like and subscribe, and liking and subscribing will help the video grow in the YouTube algorithm. But is that really the best thing to serve the customer? First off, you're asking the customer to do you a favor that's primarily going to benefit you. Now, why do people listen to videos? Why do they watch video? Why do they listen to podcasts? Well, they do it for their own reasons. So if you're writing a script for a client, you don't want to include that like and subscribe in that usual way. You want to do it in such a way that it highlights the listener's benefit. So instead of saying, hey, like and subscribe, and ask him to, because when you ask him, you'll get more subscribes. And actually, there's built-in elements in YouTube, for example. But instead of doing that, what is the self-interest of the viewer? So instead of saying, hey, like and subscribe, it's going to help me out, you can say something like, hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, just simply give me a like or subscribe so YouTube knows you're interested and you won't miss my next video. Another thing you can do is offer a special report or a free gift. Now, I like to choose solutions that work no matter what medium. So if I'm writing a script for a client and they're going to be on television, or they're going to be on radio, or they're going to be on YouTube, or they're going to be on Rumble, or they're going to be on whatever platform, I like a call to action that serves the reader's self-interest, but also gets us an opt-in on a mailing list somewhere off platform. So for example, if you've enjoyed this podcast today, but you have questions about implementing calls to action in audio or video scripts, then visit us at www.adbriefings.co.uk. Go to the contact form and ask your questions. I'd love to hear from you so that I can deliver more quality and value in every video. See, what I'm doing here is I'm saying, hey, if you'll ask your question, I'll answer it in another video. If you ask your question, I'll be sure to get you the answer so that you can solve problems. And ultimately, it's more about the end user. So when you're watching videos, or you're listening to audio programs, or you're listening to teleseminars or viewing webinars, I want you to write down all the calls to action that really pique your interest. You're going to create a library of calls to action. And I don't have a library to offer you. Otherwise, I'd offer a free report. I'd say, hey, if you want 15 calls to action that you can use in your audio programs, or that you can use in video, opt in at such and such a page, and I'll send you a copy. And by the way, if you'd like to send in the calls to action that work well for you, I'll compile all the calls to action that people provide, and then I will review them and then provide that in a PDF in the members area. Can you see what we're doing here, though? We're giving the reader or the listener or the viewer more of what they just got from a different perspective in exchange for an opt-in, in exchange for a subscription, in exchange for some kind of action, some kind of behavior. Hey, if you've liked what we talked about here today, and you think it's going to be valuable to your business, I've got more resources available at such and such a website. Do you see what we're doing here? So I know YouTube recommends you say, hey, like and subscribe, and that is a call to action, but that really serves YouTube. That really serves the engagement on the YouTube platform. I know that these other platforms don't talk about that as much because they don't have as many tools for you to track who's liking and subscribing. So the way I see it again is if we can give them a free gift that's of value to only the people we want on our list, and we drive them to an opt-in page or a landing page. Now, I send a lot of people to the main website. I'll send them straight to the Ad Briefings newsletter, and I'll let them do an AB option, which is contact page or newsletter. But you can do even a specific landing page. Now, I see a lot of people doing sponsorships. Now they're going to do it. So you're writing a script for a client and you're going to do it in a sponsorship inside it. I would rather you write the script for the client and have an ad break, and then on a separate paper, write the sponsorship separately. But even the sponsorship itself, I see people sending it to the actual sponsor's website rather than sending it to somewhere where you can get an opt-in. We want the micro behaviors. We want the micro actions, because that's going to reinforce the behavior. That's why YouTube and Facebook and all these platforms want you to like something, because that like creates a confirmation bias where you've acknowledged you like something. So therefore, in the future, you are more likely to like it, the same thing in the future. So it signals to them what kind of content they should show that visitor. And it also signals to you that content is interesting. But ultimately, if we don't tie it to value, then just asking somebody to like and subscribe. Now, another thing I don't like to see people do is to ask people to put something in the comments. Now, I syndicate across 27 platforms. So if you put something in the comments on Apple Podcast, I may not see it because it may not alert me. And if you put something on Google Podcast, I may not see it and it may not alert me. And then again, those platforms can go away. But if you go to the website, www.adbriefings.co.uk, and you ask your question, I can create a new piece of content and put it out on the platforms. Now, my content gets very low engagement. That means there are very few people that are rating the podcast or going in the comments and making comments. I'm okay with that. Now, to get your clients okay with that, we want to have, again, that back-end opt-in, and then we want to have the coding so that we know which topic folks came in. So the topical call to action is very useful to use as ad tracking on the general topic concept. And that would mean that on the back end that you're going to have mapping of content to topics. Now, I know this is kind of getting into an advanced thing, but when you're managing copy for a client, maybe you're doing 12 issues of a newsletter. If each newsletter has its own root keyword, for example, and you say, hey, if you've got questions about this topic X, write into us and let us know you have questions about X, and we'll answer it in the next podcast. That X becomes the trigger, the tracking element to know that this video got X number of questions. And so if a video gets X number of questions, that's actually a better behavior because it's harder than just if they got likes or if they got engagement or other things. Now, as you move away from engagement and likes and you move towards leads generated and sales made, you now have a measure that transcends the analytics platforms. Now, you don't have the depth that the analytics provides you, but you have a lead or you have a sale. And I would say a lead is more valuable, a sale is more valuable than just knowing someone liked your video. Because there are bots out there that are like videos. There are ways that the search engine can be gamed. And ultimately, you want to learn what it is that motivates your prospects to make behavioral change. What if you're trying to build a channel? What if you're trying to concentrate traffic on a single channel so you can get monetized, for example? What if the client wants to build out their Facebook so they get better ad rates? Well, this approach that I'm talking about here, where we have a call to action that generates an opt-in, is going to give you a list that we can now go back to the ad network or any ad network, and we can now do audience targeting and then drive people specifically to a platform. So let's use the YouTube as an example. And this is some of the more advanced stuff that we do for clients. It is technical, but when it comes to writing the copy, the script that people are going to use when they do their presentation, the call to action to an opt-in or to a website gives you an opportunity to cookie them on the Google ad platform, the Facebook platform, the Instagram, all these different platforms. You can pixel the individual. That in of itself is going to signal to the platforms, and now you can signal all the platforms at once. It's going to signal to the platforms that this is the kind of person that watches your content. Now, in the opt-in, you're going to send an email out that's going to show the next related video, And it might show your general channel, or it might show the next related video. And then when they click through that, it's going to now go back to the platform and concentrate behavior on the platform. And now the platform gets the signals. Now, I do a lot of reverse engineering of algorithms. And what I found is that you can, let's say somebody watches your video and you tell them to view the next video. That's a signal that they're watching repeat videos. But if you tell them to watch a bit, to opt into a mailing list, and now you've invited them back to watch the next video, that's the same signal. So you've now got them off platform, which again, YouTube doesn't like. Most of these platforms don't like it, but you got them off platform and immediately sent them back to the same platform. The visitor is going to show up in the system as a shorter duration visit. However, as someone who's interested in your content because they've repeated back to your content. So again, if the client is worried about losing traffic, or maybe they want to build up traffic on a certain channel, then we show them how, look, the call to action, getting them on your mailing list gives them an opportunity to invite them back to watch other videos. It avoids the issue where the subscriptions don't always stick. It avoids the issue where the notifications don't always work. And so rather than wasting time in the presentation talking about these things, we're making a presentation that works on more mediums. So it doesn't matter if the video is on YouTube or Rumble or BitChute or whatever new platform comes out. It doesn't matter if the post is on social media or your own website or whatever. It doesn't matter. The call to actions are universal, and the call to actions drive to a place where you get the maximum opportunity to cookie, to retarget, to follow up on the individual. Now, I mentioned retargeting. If we can send them to your website, we can now get that retargeting pixel on them, and then now that's going to improve the efficiency of any ads we've already got. So one of the big things that I do for clients in order to get them the maximum results, to get them accelerated results, is not to worry so much about the platform we're using. We look at the platforms as if they are mailing lists. So YouTube is a mailing list. Facebook is a mailing list. LinkedIn is a mailing list. And then we take an ad that is written universal to any platform, and we put it out there on these individual platforms. Now, yes, you will have to tailor it per platform because maybe you have length restrictions. Maybe you have you can't do a certain call to action. But we're driving everybody back to an opt-in page or a way to opt in so that we can come back and loop them through that channel again, or loop them through a different channel again. So imagine you generate leads on 5 to 10 different channels, and then now you've got a video that goes out on YouTube, and then you just flood it with traffic from your mailing list rather than having to go back to the platform and rent space by having a new ad go out. Maybe you have a video or an audio program that has a very high sales conversion rate. Now you can write a piece and go back and do retargeting to everybody in the audience. You can go and do specific ads to people in that audience who've seen the similar topic, or you can go to your email list and send out a blast to your email. Another factor I like to consider is once they're on the email is now we're starting to come after their postal address. We're starting to get their phone number. And so you can add text broadcasts and you can add postcards. I have, on a rare occasion, received a postcard for a new video that came out. And this is, I know it sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money, but when somebody has a 5-figure back-end ticket, you can send that postcard out that says, hey, if you're interested in calls to action for video, audio, and other multimedia platforms, click here for free information or QR code for free information. You're again another way to bring people to your calls to action, another way to bring people to your offers. So I made a bunch of offers in here. I actually made some offers as examples or some call to actions as an example, but this is the real call to action for this video. If you have a call to action that works really well or that you've seen work really well, put it in your library. Put it in your swipe file. Now, if you'd like to share that swipe file with me, I'll compile everybody's swipe files together, and then I will send you a kind of a master file, kind of a special report on calls to action. And I do know that I have a call to action library, And these are going to be calls to actions for your YouTube videos. They're going to be a calls to action for any kind of audio program, such as a podcast or a webinar. And I'll get that to you, but you have to go to www.adbriefings.co.uk, go to the contact page, and say you want audio or video calls to action. Now, if you have a question about how to write a call to action or how to help a client understand the value of that, I'm going to write up a little thing about that. You can ask in the comments. Now, again, if you don't ask in the comments, if you don't ask on the contact page at www.adbriefings.co.uk, then I won't even bother, because this is information I have in-house already. I don't need to create more information. I know that getting a lead is more valuable than getting a like. Getting a lead is more valuable than getting a subscriber on some third-party platform. And then ultimately getting a sale is more critical than anything else, because now you can start establishing and building that relationship with a customer, with a client. Again, like I say on all the videos, we do have free resources available at the website, but whatever platform you're on right now, there's other videos and audio to look at. But here's what I recommend. Please do something. Start writing down those calls to action. Start using those calls to action instead of having somebody just like and subscribe, instead of having somebody go down to the comments, which are very low effort behaviors, and it tells you something. I want you to have them take the leap. Now, again, you want to offer them something of value. Like I said, I will write a custom report using my calls to action library, and any calls to action libraries that you guys give, I'll evaluate it. I'll even do some reviews on it. But ultimately, you get something out of taking that action. That's what we want to do. We want to help the prospects, the most qualified individuals, get something by engaging with you rather than more content. They don't need more content. There's plenty of content out there. What they need is tools, resources, results, and you're in the right place to get that. Again, I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefings Copywriting Tips. You'll find more of what we offer at the neglected website of www.adbriefings.co.uk. The two most important pages there are the newsletter and the contact page. I do accept questions through the contact page. If it's an involved question in your client, we're going to get on the phone. Otherwise, I'll add there'll be another podcast answering the question. But all in all, the right call to action matters. Help your clients get leads and sales. It'll bypass any measuring or analytics system there is out there. It gives you more control, more opportunities to invite people back. And then from there, you can get more sales, because that's really what the customer wants. They really want to keep profitable customers. And that's what we help you do here with Words That Sell. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast.